and now staying in North Carolina, the state's Attorney General Josh Stein. Attorney General Stein, thank you so much for being with us. And forgive me, we're sort of talking over the rally playlist music here in front of the Trump campaign's rally. We expect the president here sometime in the next hour. And I want to talk to you about the president's plans. He has been very clear in his campaign about the potential of sending in lawyers right after the election, seemingly to review votes in states like yours where those mail-in ballots could take some time to be counted, basically. The president, again, making some unsubstantiated claims that there could be fraud in places that take more time to report those results. What is your message to North Carolinians and, frankly, to other Americans who are looking at those statements that the president's making?
His disinformation campaign has been deeply troubling and disheartening as an American. But what the people of North Carolina need to know, in fact, the people of America need to know, is the politicians don't decide who wins and loses elections. It is the people. It is the voter. So have your voice heard. Here in North Carolina, already more than 4.5 million North Carolinians have voted. That's a mind-boggling number. It's 95% of the entire electorate from 2016. And so the people's will be heard on November 3rd.
What can and what cannot the president's lawyers do during the period between when polls have closed and then when the results are announced?
But it really doesn't matter what they do, because the law is what the law is. If you're an eligible voter, you can vote safely, securely, and easily here in North Carolina. As I mentioned, 4.5 million North Carolinians already have. We expect another 300, 400, maybe even 500,000 people to cast their ballots tomorrow. And what we will do is add them up. It may take a few days. 97% of the ballots will be counted on election night, but in an exceptionally close election, which is exactly what happened in 2016 in our governor's race, it was less than 1/10 of a percentage point. It took another 2 weeks to add in all the provisional ballots, the late arriving mail-in ballots, and we added them up. And the winner was Roy Cooper, and he's been our governor and done a great job. And that's exactly what's going to happen this time. We will count the ballots, and the one who wins the most will become the victor.
Real quick, how long do you expect that to take? What is the estimate for timeline there if you had to put a number or a date on it?
Well, it all depends, again, on how close the election is. If it's more than 1%, right, I think the race will be over on election night. If it's within a 1 or 2/10 of a point, it could take 2 weeks to count all those votes, and we will do it. We've done it before, and the winner will be the one who earns the most votes.
Okay. Very quickly, before I let you go, I have to ask you about that disturbing police pepper spray incident at a peaceful march to the polls on Saturday in Graham. You had officers, of course, in riot gear that seemed to be ordering demonstrators to move off the street, ultimately deployed pepper spray, or a pepper-based vapor, as the police called it. The police department essentially describing the use of force as justified. Do you believe that was an adequate response?
Well, I was deeply troubled, just like every person who watched the videos was. I've talked to the organizers, law enforcement. I've talked to the State Board of Elections. The law is very clear. No one can be blocked from voting. You can't be obstructed, harassed, or intimidated. If that happened to anyone in Graham, let the State Board of Elections know. And if it happens to anyone tomorrow, immediately let your precinct official know. We will not tolerate voter intimidation in North Carolina.
Attorney General Josh Stein, thank you very much for being with us as we are here taking the show on the road in your state. I appreciate your time. Coming up.